Hey Crispin, I'm Ade. I'm the CEO of Cooper Parry. We're 40 million turnover now, 450 people. But the firm's been around a long time, so it started in 1850 with one person in Derby. So, you know, the firm's been around 170 years. And right up until probably the early 2000s, it was a very traditional, very strong, but very traditional firm of accountants. You know, things started to change around 2004-05 when there was a generational change as the older partners retired and a group of 30-year-olds came together. And you know, I joined in 2004 myself. I was part of that group, and we essentially set out to change the business. It was very hierarchical at that point, very kind of alpha male, very traditional in how it was, and that didn't really sit with us. You know, there's a real kind of upstairs, downstairs kind of hierarchy going on. So we set out to sort of change the business from 2005 onwards. So a real generational change around that period. No idea how that looked, but we just knew we wanted to be different, and we didn't really like being accountants. And so we set out to change all the stereotypes of accountants. So that was the kind of real start, if you like, 2005. We're 14 years on now, so it's been quite a journey since then. What are the pitfalls? Well, I mean, I guess you're starting out on a journey, so the start for 10 is take one step at a time, yeah? So, and experiment. So we do a lot of trial and experimentation in our business, and you know, that creates a safe space where people can try new things but are not fearful of failing. Yeah, so that wouldn't have been there back at the start of our journey. It would have been, this is the way you do things here, and if you don't do it that way, then you don't stay. So, you know, we started to change that, but just with small things. So you kind of start with small steps at a time. You learn from your mistakes. And you try and shout out the people that try, as opposed to jump on people when they miss. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, and communicate and talk to people and ask and involve the whole organisation. Hey, well, I wasn't at the event myself. I sadly couldn't make it, but I was getting texts throughout the evening, and the very first text I got was probably the big one, which that the girls were telling me that we'd been announced the most glamorous team of the evening. So we won the most glamorous dressed award, which is really cool. And I'm like, hey, well, what about the awards? And then they started to ping through. So yeah, you know, it was fantastic. We were incredibly humbled and honoured to be shortlisted for 5 awards in the first place. To win 3 was magic, and then to win the big one was very special, of course. So yeah, he's got a nice ring, the best employer in Europe. So we liked that, and we celebrate hard, and yeah, every win, small and big. So yeah, we're very proud, and we're very humbled as well. What is also proven in performance and output is having a great manager. Yeah, you have to have a very good manager, and you have to have the right people in the right roles to manage people. So managing people is a very different skill set to other aspects of a role. So we place a lot of emphasis on helping people find the right role and making sure that we have the right managers managing people. So we work very closely with Gallup, for instance. They do a lot of work around, you know, what makes a great manager. So another metric we will use is we use the Gallup 12 questions to measure, one, engagement of our people, but it also measures the strength of a line manager and how good a manager that is. So that's something that's really important to us as all, is everybody having a really good manager. And if you have the right managers, coming back to your question, then they will kind of get that it's important for people to be happy at work and engaged, because it kind of one follows the other. So if you've got the very best managers who are in the right role, they will look at the world that way, and they will kind of get that it's important to have an engaged team.